Ayan, hello and good afternoon or good morning. Although I hope that you are watching this video during our class time. Para nasasanay na yung utak natin. So, nasasanay din yung ating body clock na ito yung oras ng klase natin. Okay? So, we will be continuing our lesson on still the nature of mathematics. But we would focus on the language of mathematics. Okay? So, medyo parang magiging English class tayo. Okay? Yan. So, what is language? I hope that you would read this after me. A language may be system of words or codes used within a discipline. Language may refer to a system of communication using symbols or sounds. And language is a set of sentences constructed using a finite set of elements. Hindi naman tayo nakakakita ng unlimited words sa isang sentence, no? And language should be able to represent events and abstract concepts. Okay? So, in math, we communicate. Right? We communicate using numbers, and those numbers are being represented through symbols. Okay? What else? By the way, please feel free to pause this video if ever you want to take notes. If ever nabibilisan kayo or nababagalan, feel free to speed up or slow down the video. Characteristics of a language. In language, there must be vocabulary. In math, there is vocabulary. There must be meaning. If you would notice the books in math, they would always start with a definition. Okay? The language employs grammar. May grammar din po tayo sa math. And grammar is simply how we arrange and how we use those um, those nouns, those verbs, okay? The other parts of speech in math, okay? Uh, there's a syntax, there's a narrative as well, okay? Yeah. So, let's try to compare it muna sa English language. We have Anna, Marites, we have my mom, and we have the two boys. What part of speech is this? Okay, so if you answered nouns, then you are correct. Okay, we have proper and have common nouns and proper nouns. So, parang, is this a complete thought? My mom. Ano? If it leaves you hanging, if it does not give you a complete thought, then this is just an expression. Okay? You cannot say whether this is true or false. But let's turn it into a sentence. Ah, tanggalin ko lang to para makita ninyo what makes up a sentence. Imagine nyo wala yun. Ayan. So we have Anna goes to school, Marites talks, my mom is happy, the two boys play basketball. Remember, we have nouns. Now, what completed the sentence? Anong dinagdag ko? Okay. So, we have subject and predicate, no? In the subject, we often see noun. And in the predicate, we would see the verb. Okay. Remember, this is not a complete thought kung sakaling is lang kasi this is a to be verb. Okay? Kailangan niya ng kasunod. And because this is complete, we can now call them sentences. Now, same thing with math. So, x, 6 plus 2, the quantity x plus y minus 2, and 0, these are called nouns. Ano kaya yung verbs sa math language? Right? By the way, these are still considered as expressions. Hindi complete yung thought. Ito yung, again, it leaves you hanging na, ano ngayon? Right? So what? So here, I've added some verbs. Alin kaya dito yung verbs? Now, if you think that the verbs are the following, then you are correct. Right? These are the verbs in the math language. And thus, it makes them sentences. Okay, so if you can see or if you can observe, there's an expression, there's a verb, and there's another expression. Okay? And that forms a sentence in mathematics. Ayan. So again, we have a bunch of sentences here. And in the English language, you can hear the word equal and equivalent. They are synonymous. Okay? When you say synonymous, edi syempre parang pareho lang ang gamit. But in mathematics, magkaiba ang gamit ng word na to. Can you try to read this? Ito. Oh, can you try to read this one? Please take note, kailan ko lang ginamit ang equivalent. Okay, so if your answer is this, if you are comparing expressions only, just like these two, expression and expression, we use the word equal. Now, if we are comparing sentences, we use equivalent. Okay? Kumbaga, when we use the word equivalent, katumbas, okay? Ito yung kasunod niya. Ito rin yan. No? But when you say equal, yun yung value. Okay? What is the value of x plus 2? 5. But you cannot say, what is the value of x plus 2 equals 5? No? You would ask for the equivalent. Okay? So here we have our activity 10. So again, in activity, just in case magkamali ka, feel free to change your answers. Ang chinechekan ko dito sa ilan yung ginawa mo, hindi yung kung ilan yung sinabi mo. Okay, let's do the first one. Determine if the following is an expression or a sentence. I guess I don't have to pause the video here, or you don't have to pause the video here. You can answer this on your own. Actually, mentally. Number 1, 3x plus 1. This is just an expression. Number 2, 3x plus 1 equals 10. This is a sentence. And x plus 3 equals a sentence. Again, what makes number 2 and 3 a sentence? Pahabaan ba? Kung pahabaan, hindi napasok ang number 3. It's the equality symbol. Okay? Or actually also, for example, we have x is greater than 2. The inequality symbol as well. Okay? And if you notice, wala siya sa isang expression. Okay. Determine if the following are always true, or sometimes true, or always false. I want to give you a clue to think out of the box. Okay, number 1. The sum of a number and 3. Okay, sige, para mas madali nating maintindihan, let's turn it into a mathematical expression or sentence if it's a sentence. Let's see. The sum of a number, for number, we can use any letter, no? But for now, let me use n as a number. And 3. The sum of a number and 3. Now, this is just an expression. Ang expressions ba, can you tell if it's true or false? Let me give an example of an expression, no? My mom. Ayan na, expression na yan. Can you tell me if it's true or false? Parang hindi, no? Okay, let me give a sentence. My mom is, kunyari, no, 60 years old. Can you tell whether this is true or not? Yes, okay, we can tell whether it's true or false. Pero itong una, di ba hindi? Okay, expressions. When we say expressions, you cannot tell whether they are true or false. So, hindi siya always true, hindi siya sometimes true, and hindi rin always false. It's neither. Okay? So, this is what I mean when I say think out of the box. Sometimes the answers are not in the choices. Okay? So, this is neither true, neither false. Walang equality symbol. Okay? speaking of this one, oh, so I had an activity last time. Binalibaliktad na natin, tiningnan natin, tinry natin i-analyze. Let me just go to that page. I think that's page 39. Okay. I asked you to do this. Binalibaliktad natin. Ginawa na nating improper fraction. I wanted to show you only that we should be turning things into improper fractions, whole numbers, decimals, or whatsoever para meron tayong makita. Eh kung wala talaga tayong makita, what is the answer here? Sorry. What do you think? So if wala talaga, you should be able to reason out that this is not an arithmetic sequence because wala siyang common difference. Iba-iba yung ina-add mo dito, di ba? It's not a geometric sequence dahil iba-iba rin yung minumultiply mo dito. At the same time, this is not a harmonic sequence kasi hindi nga pasok sa arithmetic eh. At the same time, it is not a Fibonacci sequence. Kasi hindi naman natin pinag-add para makuha yung next mo. So, you should be able to reason out in that kind of manner. Right? This is neither harmonic, neither Fibonacci, neither arithmetic, neither geometric. It does not show any type of progression. Okay? Alright, so let's go back. Sorry for the mind-boggling question, but I wanted to hear it during our class na, you know, may makakapag-justify na hindi, wala pong progression, wala. Okay? So I was waiting for that. Okay, let me go back here. Okay, again, my question is always true, sometimes true, or always false. Number 2, 3 plus 7 equals 10. Okay, bali-balik na rin natin ang mundo. 3 plus 7 is equals 10. This is always true. Ang number 3 kaya? Tingnan natin. Okay, let's try to, let's try to solve number 3. Okay, let me do it here. Let's try to substitute random values for x. Okay? Kunyari, number 2. Kunyari, x is 2. So, 2 minus 1 equals 2. 2 minus 1 equals 2. 1 equals 2. Tama ba? This is false, diba? Let's try a different number. Maybe negative 5. Negative 5 minus 1 equals negative 5. So, negative 6 equals negative 5. Tama ba yan? Parang mali pa din, no? This is false. Let's try to solve for x. Diba to solve for x, what we do is we move everything to one side. All the variables on one side. So, let's move it here. When we transpose, the negative becomes positive. And the positive becomes negative. Maiiwan dito 0. X minus x cancel kasi 0 yun, no? 0 minus 1 equals 0. Negative 1 equals 0. So, it's always false if you notice. Okay? What about number 4? 1x equals x. Now, we all know that there's an invisible one. Sabi nga ng teacher niyo dati, mga mababait na bata lang nakakakita ng invisible one yan. No. But 1 times x is x. So, x equals x. This is always true. Number 5. Mukhang may kailangan ulit tayong isolve. So, let's solve it first. So, 3y plus 2 equals 14. Let me assign random variables, random values muna for y. Kunyari, gusto kong gawin tong y equals 0. What if y is 0? So, 3 times 0 plus 2 equals 14. So, 0 plus 2 equals 14. 2 equals 14. Naku, mali yata, no? Hindi pwede pagka 0. Let me try 5. Siguro gagana ang 5. Okay. 3 times 5, 15 plus 2 equals 14. 17 equals 14. Aba, mali din ah. Sige na nga, isolve na nga natin. Okay? So, 3y plus 2 equals 14. Transpose this one. Again, all constants on the right side, all the variables on the left side. So 3y equals 14 minus 2. 3y equals, what's 14 minus 12? Divide both sides by 3. So y equals 4. Okay. So pagka daw 4, tatama to. Okay? Let's try, no? So 3 times 4 plus 2 equals 14. Let's just check, no? 12 plus 2 equals 14. Yan, medyo obvious na, no? 14 equals 14. Dito mali. Dito mali. Pero dito tama. So, this is sometimes true. Kailan lang siya nagiging true? This is only true if y is equal to 4. Okay? Sometimes true. Okay? So, yan yung maging what we call truthfulness of the what do you call this one? The truthfulness of the sentence. Okay? So let's go with the next one. Okay, so we will be talking more about what are the possible nouns in mathematics. Okay, kasi in math, we don't have words. Although we can use numbers, the Hindu-Arabic numerals, and some letters. Okay, when you say Hindu-Arabic numerals, it's a constant. Constant meaning hindi nagbabago ang value. 9 is 9, 8 is 8, 0 is 0, negative 1 is negative 1. Okay? And they can also be decimals, like 10.537. Now, if we want to represent variables, yung mga hindi natin alam yung value, yung unknown value to find, we may use letters in the English alphabet. We commonly use lowercase letters. No? But it's okay if you use other letters. May ilang letters tayong iniiwasan kasi some letters have certain values. So let's talk about that later. Okay? Same thing with Greek alphabet letters, but we often use Greek alphabet letters as variables if, yun yung symbol na ginagamit. For example, ito, the same sine squared theta plus cosine squared theta equals 1. The theta here, alam natin, it's an angle. Okay? So this is what we use. What else? Yan. Some Greek and English letters, some of them have certain values. Kaya sabi ko, okay lang gamitin, pero iwasan na lang. Okay? Kasi man silang certain values. They are mathematical constants. Fixed values na. For example, is I. I for imaginary number. Okay. We have E or Euler's number. We have pi. And we have P. Okay? Or the golden ratio. Now, you would notice na itong equal sign ay kulubot. Ay, bakit kaya? Hindi lang na-plancha? Okay, let's go to the verb. Na, yung lukot na equal sign stands for approximately equal. Okay? Approximation, meaning hindi sakto kang malapit dun yung sagot. For example, 1 divided by 3. Okay, testing natin, no? Let's manually divide this one. 1 divided by 3. So this is 0. 0 times 3 are 0. Subtract. Answer is 1. Now let's put a decimal point and add 0. Bring down 0. 10 divided by 3 is 3. 3 times 3 ay 9. Subtract. Lalabas ay 1. Okay, let's bring another 0. Baka sakaling may lumabas. 10 divided by 3 is 3. 3 times 3, 9. Then, uulit lang 'to ng uulit, no? So, the value of this is 0.3333 and so on. Right? Now, in some books, they use this one, 1/3 equals 0.333 dot 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 dot, meaning it continues on. Some books would use 1 equals 1 is approximately equal 0.33. Instead of using ellipses or yung dot sa dulo, they use approximately equal instead. Okay? Ayan. We also have the strict inequality na greater than, less than. Meaning dito, for example, let me use x is greater than 5. Can x be 5? No. Strict inequality. So, hindi kasali ang 5. Pwede ang 5.01, pwede ang 5.00000001, pwede, pero hindi pwede ang 5. Now, we have a certain equality symbol for that, which is the greater than or equal to, kung saan pwede nang kasali si 5. So, x is greater than or equal to 5, pwede na ang 5. Okay? Right. We also have some symbols, and we all know plus sign, minus, plus minus, minus plus, right? In this one, it means that you have to do both operations. Paano? Magkahiwalay yan hindi nyo gagawin talaga siyang sabay. So, one of them becomes a 3 plus 5, and one of them becomes 3 minus 5. Okay? And usually, yun yung una nating nilalagay dito. Kasi plus muna di ba? Tapos, ito munang minus. Tapos itong minus. Okay? So, by order lang siya. Same thing with minus plus. In multiplication, we have 2. Actually, we have 3. Isa nito. Sorry, we have 4. We have a small letter x. But in algebra kasi we are using x din So, nakakalito x times 3. Ay, baka mapagkamala natin tong x3. No? So, we can use a dot instead, x times 3. You can use parentheses as well, x times 3. Or you can simply use walang space if it's a variable and a constant. 3x. Okay? This indicates multiplication. In division, we have the obelo sign. We have the slash. Or you can use the fraction, yung horizontal line. And fractions denote division. Ayan. Okay? We also have others like the parenthesis, the bracket, the period. Okay? Dito muna tayo sa grouping. Ay, kulang to ng isa We also have braces. Okay, if you see something like this, kunyari, 2 minus 1. Okay. Minus 1. Saka, ayan. Okay. So, in this case, ang inuuna lagi natin is the ones inside the parenthesis, which is 2 minus 1. Sunod natin gagawin is yung nasa loob ng bracket. Okay? Okay, let me copy this first. So, again, sunod natin gagawin is yung nasa loob ng bracket. Saka yung Saka yung nasa loob ng braces. Ay, nagkamali si man. Ayan. Okay? Right. So, ang next naman natin is the period. So, periods usually used for decimal point. Okay? We also have the power for exponent. But you would also see this, yung iba tinatype ay kunya 2 raised to 3. Depende sa availability ng computer or ng cellphone ninyo. Minsan, sa ibang keyboard, hindi available ang exponent, itong maliit na number. So instead, we use the caret symbol. Okay? Next, ito, nth root or the radical symbol. Okay. So this one, pagka wala siya nakalagay na number, this is automatically square root. May invisible na po dyan. This one is the third root. Third root meaning anong number yung i-multiply mo 3 times para makuha ang 127. Okay? So, ito yan. We also have, when it comes to getting root, you might also see something like this. Kunyari, 64 raised to a fraction. Kunyari, 1/5. Okay. 64 raised to 1/5. So, it's also the same as the fifth root of 64 raised to 1. Okay, pagka may pinakitang fraction. Okay? So, ito yung root, ito yung exponent. Okay? And also, we have percentage, meaning percent. As we all know, century is 100 years, no? So, per 100. Right? So, for example, I have 50%. 50% is the same as 50 over 100. And if we would be dividing it, okay, so it's the same as 0.50 in decimal. Simply, yung 50, just put 2 decimal places. Okay? Yeah. We have other words like in addition, plus, more than, the sum of, the total of, added to, increased by. We have subtraction, minus, less than, decreased by, the difference of, and subtracted from. Iba yung subtracted from sa subtracted by. Okay? We have multiplication, times, multiplied by, the product of twice, thrice. You would also see something like fivefold. Okay? When you say fivefold, it's 5 times. When you have fivefold of 100, fivefold 100. So 5 times 100. In division, we have divided by, the ratio of, the quotient of. But let's try to analyze, no? If in a certain mathematical problem, kunyari, I have a 10-inch paper, and I folded it 5 times, or I folded it into 5 sections. So, 5 fold daw. 5 sections rather. Okay? Question is, how long is each folded section? Like, how long is each daw? Ngayon, ang magiging dyan is division. So, 10 divided by 5. You have to analyze the question because some words are being used in both operations. Kagaya nga ng multiplication and division. Next, equality is equal to, gives. Inequality is greater than, is less than, let me add, is more than, is at least, is at most, is above, is below. We would notice meron nito, is less than, is more than, dito. Pero anong pinagkaiba? So, if you were thinking na they don't have the word is, then you are correct. Pag wala silang word na is dito, before them, then it's addition or subtraction. If you say it, then it's the inequality symbol. Is less than, is more than. Okay? And so we also have some words. For example, the quantity. The quantity of x plus 2. We have square. So meaning exponent. Cube is raised to the 5th power. Square root. Cube root. Square root. Cube root. And 9th root, for example. Yan. Those are radicals. Okay? Yan. So let's try to translate the following verbal sentences into mathematical sentences. Again, you may pause this video if you have to, or kung kaya mong sabayan, it's okay. Again, this is an activity that you should do. Number 1, the sum of a number x and 24 is 44. Now, since here it's defined a number x, we will use x. The sum of a number x and 24 is 44. Okay? Next, 5 less a number is greater than 12. Now, when you say less a number, right? In subtraction, when you see this word less a number, so you can see 5 less a number is greater than 12. Okay, so binabaliktad. 5 less meaning mas konti. 5, mas konti ng 5. Okay? For example, another one is 4 times a number y. 4 times a number y less than 12 is less than 10. Less than 10. Okay? So, 4 times a number y, nakita natin ulit yung less than. Right? So, meaning mas konti daw 12 is less than 10. Okay. Ito meron ng is. That's why we use this inequality symbol. Number 4. The square of the sum is at most 7. Okay. Wala naman ditong numbers, no? So, let's use x and y. The square of the sum is at most 7, meaning 7 daw yung pinakamalaking number. So, ano kaya yun? Greater than or equal to, greater than or equal to. At most 7. So, 7 daw ang pinakamalaki. Okay? When you say at most, pwedeng kasali ang 7. Okay? So, let's put greater than or equal to. Okay? Number 5. The distance d, okay, so we are using other letters. The distance d is equal to the square root of the sum of the squared quantity. Okay, so the sum of the squared quantity x2 minus x sub 1 and the squared quantity y sub 2 minus y sub 1. This is actually the distance formula na. Okay? And so I hope you were able to get this one so that we can proceed to the next one. Now we will translate it to the verbal phrases instead. Now if your answer is x minus 3 equals twice x squared, that's fine. Pwede ding 3 less than a number is equal to twice the square of x. Okay? So, there are many possible answers here. So, checkan ko na lang isa-isa pagka merong magtanong na tama ba to o hindi. Okay? Number 2, the quotient of 6y and 3z is more than thrice the product of yz. Pwedeng ganun. Okay? There are many possible answers here. Okay? Number 3, the product, okay, kasi multiplication. So, the product of the quantity a minus b and a plus b, the quantity of a plus b, is equal to the difference of a squared and b squared. Pwede namang ganon. Okay? Again, there are many possible answers here. The cube root of 18 and the cube root of 18 times the fifth power of x is less than or equal to the quotient of y and 2. Okay? You can also say at most. So the cube root of 18 multiplied to x raised to 5 is at most the quotient of y and 2. Right? So that is how we translate the verbs, how we translate the sentences. Okay? Ayan. So this ends our lesson on the language of mathematics. And so expect next time we would be having another lesson. So feel free to message me to clarify if ever you have some questions. Okay? So yun lang. Thank you so much and I'll be seeing you all next time. Okay? Goodbye.